Why did an NFL player blast Dabo Swinney on Twitter? And who was it? Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Couz, and welcome to Couz's Corner. Thanks for dropping by. Please come in, make yourself at home, and let me pour you out a shot of top shelf college sports content. Today, once again, we're talking college football, about some comments that a professional football player, an NFL player, made on Twitter regarding Dabo Swinney, who once again finds himself in controversy for things he says at a press conference. Dabo being Dabo. Here we go again, folks. I want you to let me know in the comment section what you think about these comments Dabo made once I tell you what they were. And do you think he was offline or off base making these comments, or do you agree with the comments? Let me know in the comment section, and let me know what you think overall about Dabo Swinney as a coach and as a man. So who was the NFL player that bashed Dabo Swinney on Twitter? His name is Khalil McKenzie Jr. He is an offensive lineman for the Baltimore Ravens currently. What did he say? I'll put it up on the screen for you, but McKenzie said, I know some of my Clemson brothers will defend him, but there is zero chance I would let my kid play for Dabo Swinney. And why do you think he made that comment? Well, we know Dabo makes the news quite often for being open and honest and sometimes a little bit maybe too direct about his feelings towards the transfer portal, NIL, and other things going on in college football and college sports. I'd say what probably inspired this tweet by Mr. McKenzie was Dabo's latest comments when asked at a press conference about NIL. Here's the first. I'm just going to read it to you verbatim. A reporter asked Dabo this. He says, do you understand when people say, well, coaches like Dabo Swinney and Nick Saban are making in the $10 million range? Why shouldn't the athletes be able to profit even before they get on campus? And here's Dabo's answer, and I want you to tell me what you think about this answer, and I'll give you my opinion later. Well, Nick Saban is 70 years old. I'm 52 years old. None of us set markets on what we do. We live in a capitalist society. The head of Delta probably makes a lot more than the people who are checking your baggage in, but those people are as vital as anybody. None of us set markets on what we do. It's a free market we live in anything. It's just that our jobs are so visible and public. I can tell you this. None of us got into coaching to make money, but I don't apologize for being successful. End quote. So, I actually understand what Dabo's trying to say there. I think I understand the message he's trying to get across to the reporter and to the folks listening. I think he's trying to say, look, I'm not going to apologize for being successful, which I agree with that. We shouldn't. That's what a capitalist society is based on. I agree with that. He's trying to say that coaches make more than athletes because they are the leaders of the program. They're basically the CEOs of the program, and the players are more like the employees, even though they're not officially employees. That's kind of the role they take on here. And honestly, I think we're moving in that direction. But I think that's kind of the metaphor he was trying to make there. The CEOs of companies are going to make more than the employees. Well, I get it, but Dabo, man, you've got to choose your words better, man. There is as fans and sometimes the media people, we get on coaches for using coach speak. This right here is why they use coach speak, because they don't stick their foot in their mouth. Dabo probably needs to take some lessons on how to use coach speak because he sticks his foot in his mouth so many times. I think Dabo means well, man, and I honestly like Dabo. A lot of people don't. I do because I love his honesty. I love where he comes from. I think he really cares for his players and the Clemson program, and heck, he's done a great job there. And I respect the fact that he's open about his faith and all that too. But a lot of people don't like him, and that's fair. But he's got to stop sticking his foot in his mouth, and he's just got to find he needs to be a little bit better at speaking, to be honest. Neil Brown, West Virginia's coach, he's not had the success on the field as Dabo, but one thing he's really good at is speaking to the media. He's always very thoughtful in what he says. He doesn't tend to speak out of turn or say things that he regrets later or can get used against him in the media. He's very cautious about what he says and very measured. Dabo needs to do a better job of that. I think sometimes he just starts rambling too much, And I get it. I'm that type of guy too. Sometimes I ramble too much if I'm in conversations. I mean, when you even though I know you meant well, a lot of it comes across like you're a little bit entitled. I think, even though I know that's probably not your intent and that's probably not how you feel, it can come across that way to some people, and I understand why it would. And that comment that Khalil McKenzie made, I'm sure he's probably not the only person out there who feels that way. And I think if Dabo doesn't start doing a better job of watching what he says, it could end up hurting his recruiting in the future because he makes it sound like he doesn't want these players to get paid and get NIL money. Now, I don't think that's actually the case. Matter of fact, a lot of Clemson fans came to the defense of Dabo, which Mr. McKenzie thought they would. One of them even posted a quote Dabo had made in a press conference before, where he basically said that he wants these guys to get NIL money and earn money off of their name and what they've accomplished and worked hard to achieve. So I don't think Dabo is 100% against NIL. I think he's just against the direction college football is heading and the way college football is becoming almost like a semi-pro sport. He doesn't like that. Now, but when he makes comments like this that he made about the Delta workers, I think it comes across as a little hypocritical because he makes the statement he made before about wanting them to get paid, and then he makes this one about them, makes it sound like he doesn't. Even though I don't think that's his intent, that's kind of how it came across to some people. Now what's my opinion on Mr. McKenzie for coming after Dabo? Well, Mr. McKenzie had every right to post that if he wanted to. No issue with that. But what I find comical is the next day, McKenzie goes back on Twitter and retweets it and says he was surprised at all the hoopla it created. Why were you surprised, Mr. McKenzie? You said in your tweet that you expected people to come out to his defense. So you were expecting that, or you wouldn't have said that in your tweet. And two, you just tweeted about one of the most high-profile college football coaches in the country who has a very passionate fan base. You don't think it's going to get some response, and you're an NFL football player, so your tweets probably mean a little bit more to people than if somebody like I were to tweet it. So you shouldn't. That comment's a little bit naive, in my opinion, for you to think that nobody was going to respond when you plainly said, "I expect people to respond," in a sense. So I think you were a little bit off base with that comment. But let me know in the comment section. Personally, I like Dabo Swinney. I think he needs to do a better job of answering questions and probably using coach speak a little bit more, and maybe not coming out and saying everything the way he thinks it. He probably should keep his lips buttoned up a little bit more at times, but I do think he means well. I do think he's a good guy, and I do think he loves his players. If were that not the case, they would not have been so successful over the years. He wouldn't have so many of these young men coming to play for him at Clemson, South Carolina. Well, guys, once again, let me know in the comment section what you think about this tweet, about Dabo's comments in general. And do you think Dabo Swinney is out of line by making this comment about comparing the football players to Delta baggage employees? I want to know your thoughts. I welcome all opinions here. I may comment on your comment, but that's fine. It'll all be respectful. And I welcome the dialogue. Please check out the BetUS link in the description box to go place your bets right now. If you want to bet on MLB baseball season coming up, if you want to bet on NBA playoffs, NASCAR, anything you want to place your bets on, folks, hit that BetUS link. Use promo code JOIN125 to get 125% bonus on your first bet. It'll also help out my channel. I really appreciate you tuning in, and until next time, Q Country Roads.